I'm going to open the meeting of the Beaumont Planning Commission at 6 p.m.
I'll do roll call if you're ready.
Yes.
Commissioner Tinker?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Voss?
Here.
Chairman St. Martin?
Yes. Please join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Any adjustments to the agenda?
I have none.
Any conflicts of interest?
Yes, I'll be recusing myself from item 4. The applicant is a client of my employer.
Okay, public comment period. Any one person may address the Planning Commission on any matter not on this agenda. If you wish to speak, please fill out a public comment form provided at the back table and give it to the city clerk. There is a 3-minute time limit on public comments. There will be no sharing or passing of time to another person. State law prohibits the commission from discussing or taking actions brought up by your comments. Are there any speakers?
A request for this portion.
Item number 1, approval of the minutes of the last meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by
Commissioner-
Commissioner Voss, second by Commissioner Johnson.
Commissioner Tinker?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
I'll abstain. I was absent from last meeting.
Vice Chair Voss?
Yes.
Chairman St. Martin?
Yes. The best part, reorganization. I'll entertain nominations for chairman.
Are you interested in continuing, or are you looking to?
No, I think we ought to give someone else another, we need to start developing.
I would then consider a nomination for Commissioner Johnson to serve as chairperson. Can't.
She's leaving.
And
This
she's,
boat's sinking.
The last meeting, I think.
this is her last meeting.
Then, okay then.
Yeah. She'll never serve.
Then Commissioner Voss, would you be interested?
I'll do it.
Good. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Smith, second by Commissioner Tinker.
Commissioner Tinker?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Vice Chair Voss?
Yes.
Chairman St. Martin?
Yes. Okay, nomination for vice chair.
Can I make a suggestion, sir? I think due to the, I'm right now cannot do it due to the conflict with the partner on your right over there all the time.
I know.
Maybe, Paul, I'd like to nominate you as the vice. Please. So I nominate Paul St. Martin as the vice chair.
Second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Tinker?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Vice Chair Voss?
Yes.
Chairman St. Martin?
Yes. And with that, I'm going to pass the gavel to the new chairman.
Thank you, sir.
I'll leave my name there, though.
I'll try not to mess it up. All right, item number 3, the Craft Lounge Conditional Use Permit number CUP 2018-0017.
Thank you, Planning Commission Chair, members of the Planning Commission. Staff has received an application for conditional use permit for on sale of beer and wine at Type 42 within an existing building located at 690 Beaumont Avenue. The municipal code requires an approval of a conditional use permit by the Planning Commission for alcoholic beverage retail businesses. The purpose of that requirement is to establish a formal review of such proposals, which involves conducting a public hearing, given written notice to property owners within 300 feet radius of the site. Through that CUP process, the Planning Commission has the opportunity to determine if the use proposed or the location of that use is compatible with the surrounding uses, or through conditions of approval can be made compatible. The Planning Commission can either deny or approve the proposal and may establish conditions of approval for the business operations to assure that it will not be a detriment to the community. This subject site is a 1,700 square foot retail suite within a commercial building located at 690 Beaumont Avenue. It's at the corner of Beaumont and 7th, the southeast corner of Beaumont and 7th. The site contains an existing building with 5 business suites with a shared parking lot with 17 striped spaces in the rear. Staff does believe that the building would be suitable for an alcohol retail establishment. The key issues related to the approval of these types of businesses involve the appropriateness of the location and the nature and manner of operations to be conducted. With regard to location, the site is zoned BAO, which is Beaumont Avenue Overlay, and is proposed inside an existing commercial building that I just described. The proposed approval will limit the hours of operation of the business to be between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. through 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, and 12 noon to 10 p.m. on Sunday. The interior site plan shows a front seating area and a bar which will be used for vending of beer. The rear portion of the suite will be used for storage space and coolers. The site is limited on parking if all suites at the proposed property were to be occupied by high traffic generating uses like a restaurant or a nightclub or a full-on bar. Since many of the current uses are low traffic generators and based on the small square footage of the respective unit as well as the nature and manner of the operations that are being proposed, the site should adequately provide the parking spaces required for the intended use. It is much less intensive than a true bar. And I can go into a little bit more detail about what they're proposing within the facility, as well as the applicant is here to answer any questions. So the business operations is not necessarily a brewery because they're not going to be brewing beer at the location, but it's also not like a bar or a nightclub in which they're going to be having mixed drinks or wine. It's simply a tap room that's going to have, we can ask the applicant how many taps or handles that's going to vend beer in pint-sized glasses, or I think their ABC license does allow them to fill growlers for off-site consumption. Once again, I'll leave those types of details up to the applicant, but that's the type of use that has been proposed to the city staff, and that's really the intensity that we've reviewed from staff's perspective at the site. So those types of uses are really not ones that hit maximum capacity. You also don't have people that go there and stay there for 5 or 6 hours at a time. And based on the proposed hours of operation that the applicant has been requesting, you can also see that the business isn't open in the morning. And it's also not open after 11 p.m. any given night throughout the entire week. So they're not looking for the type of clientele that's going to be staying there to 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or those types of things. So with that said, the proposed findings are the Planning Commission may approve or modify a conditional use permit in whole or in part with or without conditions, provided that all of the following findings of fact are made, and those are listed 1 through 11. And staff recommends that Planning Commission, 1, hold a public hearing, and 2, approve conditional use permit CUP 2018-0017 based upon the findings stipulated herein and subject to the attached conditions of approval. Like I said, I am here to answer any questions as well as the applicant. Thank you.
Any questions?
Well, first of all, that building used to be a bar, so it's nothing new for there. I mean, it was a cocktail establishment for years.
That's what I heard.
Well, Mr. St. Martin and I were talking, and we've driven past it numerous times, but never enjoyed it. It's compatible with what's going on in the neighborhood. It's commercial. We don't have any schools. We don't have a problem there. So, and I like the hours. So I really don't see an issue here. You know, I guess I want to ask the applicant a question, if I may.
Of course.
We open the public hearing.
Yeah, I'll open the public hearing at 6:09.
Thank you. So where are you getting your beer?
Local breweries, so around Redlands, Temecula, San Diego, LA type areas.
So is this going to be advertised as a, you know, like a craft lounge
It'll
where?
be a craft lounge. It'll be tap room with we'll have 14 rotating taps with beer, some ciders, from local area bars. I mean not bars, but breweries. So
Okay. That was my question. Huh?
No questions.
Anybody else? Do we have any speakers on this?
You have any other amenities that you're looking at within the facility?
as far as
I've been to some where, you know, they've focused on like games and entertainment or televisions or.
we're gonna have some TVs, probably like four or five TVs in place. Eventually, we'll probably move on to like karaoke and little things like that. Nothing too extreme. So.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
From a staff report, if they decide, and I'm thinking about the vault, if they decide that they want to have a weekend party, they need to come back to us for a permit, or the city for a permit?
Yes, so all live entertainment, if we determine the types of events they are holding are live entertainment and they want that on an ongoing basis, they will be required to have a conditional use permit submitted and subsequently approved by Planning Commission. They can hold special events through the special event permit process through the city staff, but those are restricted to one a quarter.
Okay.
So they couldn't have it every weekend. If they're looking to do something karaoke every Thursday, that will probably end up requiring a conditional use permit to come back.
Okay.
Or any type of larger event.
That was my question. Thank you.
I have one question. Are you going to be serving any kind of food there?
We won't have food. We won't have food.
Will the clientele be able to bring food in?
Yes, they will. We're open to all kinds of food. Bring whatever you like and
Okay.
come and enjoy.
Because when you're consuming alcohol, it'd be good if you're
is-
counterbalancing with,
It is in our plans, for future reference, to go ahead and try to get like things like food trucks or vendors outside. And we'll pull the permits for all that.
okay,
Make sure we have that. So.
thank you.
If you were to want to add karaoke now, would that be possible to add it to this as an additional condition, or does it need to resubmit?
Well, it's not really live
I mean,
music.
we wouldn't have a problem with that, but we didn't technically publicly advertise it. So one could argue that the public was not properly notified of that.
Okay.
And therefore, we probably shouldn't be adding that type of use or extra type of thing onto the thing because technically the public was not notified of it.
Okay. Just trying to save another
Right.
CUP.
Additionally, we like those to be separate CUPs. That way, if there is an issue with live entertainment and we need to bring it back, they're not risking their ABC approval and only their live entertainment.
That makes sense.
So that's usually a recommendation when we have someone who'd like to do both.
Okay. That's it. Close the public hearing at 6:12.
Now recently that was Beaumont Auto Sports that was in there, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so essentially the building's mostly vacant now. Is there any conversation with the property owner to dress it up a little bit, or? I know that's not the item that we're discussing now.
Almost
but-
full.
Are they almost full?
Yeah.
There's a mattress
Yeah.
retail
The hair-
outlet in there,
hair
and then
salon.
there's a hair salon.
Okay,
So it has its own rustic
it does.
facade on there.
That's one way to put it.
We looked at it, and it would be very costly to remove the stone veneer and to replace it with everything. So we didn't really feel like this type of use or the other uses that were just a permitted use within that zone were the triggers.
Right.
If the
I agree with that.
landowner wanted to do that, of course, we would support them in that, but we didn't feel from staff's perspective that we should be moving forward on that right now.
Okay,
So that's why you don't see conditions that require it.
that's fair enough. I agree.
I move to approve CUP 2018-0017 per the conditions.
I will second.
Commissioner Tinker,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chair St. Martin,
Yes.
Chairman Voss.
Yes. Item number 4, tentative track map 31468, minor change.
Thank you, Chairman. Members of the commission. The municipal code of the city of Beaumont requires that the planning commission approve a minor change to a tentative track map. Tentative track map 31468, conditions of approval dated May 4th, 2004, included a condition 3.19, which stated that Cherry Avenue shall be improved with a 40-foot curb-to-curb section between 8th Street on the south and Antonell to the north. Due to the existing condition, a 40-foot curb-to-curb is not possible for the entire right-of-way on this road segment. The southern portion of the road segment is restricted due to the existing homes, and the northern portion is restricted due to drainage area. In May 2014, Party Homes worked with the Public Works Department and submitted plans for Cherry Avenue with a 31.5-foot half-width road to include a 32-foot curb-to-curb section with an added sidewalk on the easterly side of the road. These plans were approved at that time. Upon pulling the permit for construction, staff noticed this approval was in conflict with the previously mentioned condition. Due to the existing site conditions and that the 40-foot pavement width is not a standard street section in the traffic circulation plan, staff is recommending that the Planning Commission approve this revision to the tentative track map and conditions of approval. One hiccup is that currently the municipal code does not define what a minor change is. So this item will be forwarded to council to define whether a street width section can be considered a minor change. So we are recommending that you take public testimony, approve this amendment to tentative track map with the change of condition 3.19 to require a 32-foot curb-to-curb section between 8th Street to the south and Antonell to the north, with the sidewalk installed on the east side of the road, subject to council determination that this proposed change is considered a minor change. Thank you.
Any questions?
No question.
Any speakers?
No speakers.
I'll open the public testimony at 6:16. Close at 6:16. We have a motion to approve?
I'll move that we approve tentative track map 31468, the minor change.
I'll second.
Commissioner Tinker,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Vice Chair St. Martin,
Yes.
Chairman Voss.
Yes. Grab Nathan. There it is.
Hey, here he comes. Okay, you can come back now. All right.
Item number 5, conditional use permit 2017-0014 for a type 21 general liquor sale.
Thank you, Chairman. Members of the commission, we're recommending continuation of this conditional use permit. We advertised it in the paper. When we started the process, we looked at it and we realized we were missing the certification or affidavit for the mailing labels for the 300-foot property owner notifications. Upon contacting the applicant, we were told that they did receive it from a title company, and I asked for a copy of the affidavit from that title company stating that it was the correct notice. I did not receive that in time for the staff reports due, and I have not received it to date. So because I can't verify that we did do the proper noticing to the 300-foot, I'm recommending that you continue it to the next meeting. Thank you.
Any questions?
No?
None.
No. I'll open public testimony at 6:18. Speakers? No?
No speakers.
Close at 6:18.
I'll leave it open.
Leave it open?
Yeah. If we're continuing
We
already.
didn't open the public hearing yet. We're just going to continue the whole thing, so you don't need to leave it open.
Okay.
I move to continue.
I'll second it.
We may.
Commissioner Tinker,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chair St. Martin,
Yes.
Chairman Voss.
Yes. Any comments?
I don't have any.
Anybody else? No? We'll adjourn the Planning Commission meeting at 6:19.